right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Iconic Video Games presents. Good morning, Xbox. Iconic Video Games presents Iconic Video Games. I almost said that. Iconic Video Games presents Good Morning, Xbox. I am your host, Axel1324,
and I am CoolCatTerri.
I'm DREADPOOL.
All right, and it is Memorial Day weekend, so I hope all of you are having a fantastic 3-day weekend. For those of you that get to take the week off from work. I know I do. I don't work on Monday. Do you work on Monday, Terry?
No, Mondays in general are always off for me, so it just works out.
Nice. What about you, Dread?
Yes, unfortunately, but I don't work this Monday. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I'm still working, but I'm not working. You know how it is.
Right, I do. Yes. Let's check in with the Iconic chat real quick. We got my brother here, Doggy Dog 420, saying good morning, everybody. Good morning, Doggy Dog. Thank you so much for joining us. And Splendiferous says, I've been up since 5 a.m. Wow. That's a long wait. That's
my normal work schedule right there.
Yeah, wow.
I wake up at 5.
Really good morning. We're saying good afternoon to Splendiferous right now.
No, that's dedication for him. He's been sitting here waiting since 5 a.m., 4 hours waiting for us to start. That's dedication.
That is dedication. And Splendiferous says, I love that intro. Yeah, I love that intro too.
Good intro.
That's right. And we got Back from the Dead saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Back from the Dead. We appreciate you. And we got Xbox International en Español saying, good morning, everybody. Of course, this is Eternal Shaddai. Shout out to Eternal Shaddai on his international podcast. All right. So the week was interesting as far as the news was concerned, as far as the Xbox news was concerned. We had I didn't think we would get that much Xbox news this week because, PlayStation had their showcase, and, usually PlayStation knocks it out of the park in their showcase, but a lot of fans were left wanting better from PlayStation, and some of them called them out, so shout out to them. And our show will kind of focus around the Xbox reactions to those showcases. And we're going to get started right away with our first reaction, and that is Xbox themselves responding to the PlayStation showcase with a tweet. That's right. Sorry, Robert. They got PlayStation showed off, I believe, 30 games, and out of those 30 games, 12 of them are coming to Xbox. And here they are. You got Immortals of Avium, Ghost Runner 2, Marathon from Bungie, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, or Metal Gear Solid 3, if you will, Snake Eater, Dragon's Dogma 2, Alan Wake 2, The Plucky Squire, Teardown. By the way, Teardown, a lot of people don't know this. On Steam, it has 70,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. So don't count it out just because it has voxel art, guys. Assassin's Creed Mirage, Neva, Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean? How do you say that? Someone with a cat.
Someone with a cat. I can't talk cat to you.
Caribbean?
Let's see. And the Talos,
just roll your R. Actually, you should be able to do that.
The Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
Caribbean. There you go. Yeah. So there you go. Those are the 12 games. So we're going to talk about those 12 first. And Back from the Dead right away with the burn comes in. PlayStation did knock it out of the park, showcasing Xbox and Game Pass games. Some of these might come to Game Pass. You don't know. We don't know that yet. But even if they don't come to Game Pass, what a great lineup of 12 games we got going on here, guys. And we're going to start off with CoolCatTerri. Terry, out of these 12 games, which one are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to more than one of them, but I'm kind of torn.
If you want to do honorable mentions real quick and then focus on your favorite, that'd be fine.
Favorite? Okay, I guess honorable. I have two favorites. I can't pick between them because they're both going to be awesome. So I'll do honorable mentions. Okay. Alan Wake 2 is an honorable mention. I really enjoyed the last one, and it's a great thriller. So I want to see how that story continues because the first one was trippy. So I want to see how that goes. I'm also interested in the Immortals of Avium. That one looks really, really good. So I'm definitely into that. As well as honorable mention, I think it was. I mean, Cat's Quest. I did play the first one, and it's adorable. It's like the perfect little game. Like if you have small kids and you want to find a game for them, like Cat's Quest is so adorable, and like it's like a great way to get them introduced into like RPGs that aren't going to be over the top with stats and setup. So like it's very, very simplistic. It's a fantastic thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they do this new adaptation with the pirates. So that one will be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And Teardown as well. I do like stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that voxel art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the main ones. Which ones are you excited for, Terry?
Okay. I got the big two for me is going to be Assassin's Creed Mirage because Ubisoft over here, so I gotta play the new Assassin's Creed. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be so much fun. And then of course Dragon's Dogma 2. Capcom rarely drops games that I like, but Dragon's Dogma was one of the ones that they just knocked out of the park for me, and I loved it so much. I put so many hours into the first one. Before they even did the Dark Arisen thing, I like played it to death, and then they added the Dark Arisen, and at that point I was like burnt out on the game. I didn't bother with it, but I am looking forward to both of those games because like look at Mirage, look how pretty, it looks so good,
right?
So like I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Let's expand into Assassin's Creed a little more. You see the Sword of Time, the Sand of Time, the Dagger of Time, all this time. Very Prince of Persia inspired, as it was inspired originally by Prince of Persia. So do you think they are going back to their roots with that Prince of Persia look?
It's definitely possible, especially since they've kind of been trying to work on the remake for Prince of Persia. Was it Sands of Time? I think is the one they're working on.
Yeah, Sands of Time. Yeah.
So it's possible. This is their way of kind of like giving fans a little taste until they get their game figured out because they've been having a really hard time with development for that game. So it could be. And I know for the longest time, Assassin's Creed fans, at least the more long-term Assassin's Creed fans, they preferred the way that the game played in the early days where it was a lot more linear than to have like this expansive open world. So they're trying to wind it back some to try to appeal to that, to see how that goes. And we'll see how that goes because honestly, the Assassin's Creed fans are definitely split. The younger generation, they've only ever really played the open world stuff, so that's what they know. It's going to be interesting to see how it turns out because you can't please all fans, and there's definitely a split between the generations. I mean, I love them both. So I whether they go open world or if they go more linear like they did in 1 and 2 and like the early ones in 3, I think I'll still enjoy it. So I'm all for it. I just love Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, fantastic game here. Quick question: which one has been your favorite Assassin's Creed so far? Do you have a favorite?
Black Flag is still my all-time favorite. Like I just really like pirate stuff. So yeah, Black Flag is definitely my holds a very special place in my heart. So Black Flag was the one that really got me into like Assassin's Creed because I hated 1 and 2. I know people are gonna be like, oh gasp, but like no, I hated 1 and 2, hated them. I skipped 3 and then 4 came out. I was like, pirates, yeah, okay, I'll try it. Played it, loved it, got into Assassin's Creed, went back and played with Connor and them, loved it, and then I've been playing all the new ones and I love it. So yeah, it's just 1 and 2 I hated. So otherwise, yeah, everything they've done since that, I'm all for it. So
all right, fantastic. Assassin's Creed Mirage on Terry's list here. DREADPOOL, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Any thoughts on it?
I am glad that they're keeping the animus out of all this. I just that's been the bane of the original Assassin's Creeds for me is being pulled out. I don't mind the story getting you into it, but every time they're pulling you out and then you have to hit the certain quotas, to match up, so that way you can get your your true story and all that. It pulls you out of it, and that's the
I
problem.
agree.
And
I agree.
that's why I
The-
think a lot of the people that are the old school that are enjoying some of the newer ones, because you actually get to stay in character. But again, the open world is getting too open world. There's too much distraction there now, because it's the kind of like the GTA bad part of Grand Theft Auto is just too much, and sometimes you get lost in with what you're doing. It's fun if you want to get lost like that. That's cool, but I'm starting to see a little bit like a return to Assassin's Creed 2. It's what it feels like. It's just better graphics. So
Yeah,
I'm
better
waiting to see what they
animations.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm curious about it.
for me, for me, it's kind of like on the same. I always hated the whole Animus project. I hated it. It definitely pulls me out of the game. I play Assassin's Creed because I like playing through the historical periods.
Mhm.
So that was one of the big things I hated about the earliest ones, because you're in the Animus sections of the game far longer, and it's slow because they make you walk very slowly
Yeah.
through those segments. And I just could not get into those games. Whereas like the new ones, yeah, they pull you out, but you're barely out. Like you're out, you do a quick thing, and you're right back at it. So it's like it's a lot better for me. It's compared to the old ones where you could spend like an hour slowly walking through a freaking building while everybody talks to you, your ear off. It's just for me. That's
Yeah.
how I prefer it that way.
See, and that's why I like the way that they did Black Flag. That was one of my favorites until Odyssey came out, and those two are pretty much hand in hand for me, the best in the series.
Okay.
Really didn't get into Unity. There was just so many issues, but I heard it's so much better now.
They patched
Again,
it.
it's this is the problem with so many games that come out broken, and hopefully this is not one of those games that come out broken and then years later get fixed, but nobody's playing it because it's got a bad rep on it.
Yeah. So, I've tried a few Assassin's Creed. I tried. Okay, I have a history with Assassin's Creed. Every time an Assassin's Creed is on my Xbox, my home gets broken into, and I get robbed, including my Xbox. So
Wow.
I kind of have boycotted Assassin's Creed, whether you can call it whatever it is, oh, I don't do left turns, whatever. But I have lost so many collectible video games every time this thing is on my Xbox that I didn't play one for a long time. And, I got the Assassin's Creed 3, the what is it, the American one, whatever it was called,
American Revolution.
And I was looking forward to that one because I was like, yeah, I love Americana, I love American history, right? That's going to be cool for me, not that European history crap. And stolen. I got Black Flag. Everybody's so great about Black Flag. Yeah, I'm gonna load it up. I played like maybe an hour of it. Went to school, came back, stolen. I recently loaded up Assassin's Creed Origins because it was on Game Pass, I believe, for a while there. And I'm enjoying what I'm playing. I'm enjoying what I'm experiencing. But I haven't, I'm still scared. I'm like, I better delete this thing off my Xbox before it gets stolen again. So, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I need to experience Assassin's Creed at my friend's house or something, or on the cloud, or, somewhere where it's not on my Xbox so that I don't get my Xbox stolen. So I have very little input for Assassin's Creed, but it looks cool. That's all I have to
Ironically, you're saying that were you afraid to keep it on there? I've got every single game of Assassin's Creed that I could buy, with the exception of Ragnarok. I got tired of it with the way that they were doing a lot of the stuff. You know what I mean?
I wanted to play Ragnarok so bad. It looks so good.
It looks good, but you get to a certain
Viking
point.
Lore. I love that Viking lore.
No, it's a good lore. It's like I said, I think it's just sometimes you get too much, and even though you changed it up, and seeing that a lot of people have had some issues with it, I like the fact that your character's interchangeable from male to female. So depending on the storyline, depending on what happens, it's inclusive in that way. But it's
Right.
but at the same time, I'm not too worried about it. And it just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't grab me as much to want to buy it. And then everybody's saying, "Oh, it's great. It's this. It's that." I'm like, "All right, cool." But now that there's other things where it's like it's long in the tooth. It's this. It's that. And it's like, okay, see, this is why I've gotten tired of these. They're so open world that again, it's some of it. You have to fill in.
A little too open world.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is it's getting too much. And right there where Eternal Shaddai was saying, I've got those games too. Those games were great because they were one-offs. They were different.
All right, well, there you go. And let's check in with the chat real quick. We got Boom Boom Kaboom. Noof Nukem is in the room. Shout out to Noof Nukem. Thank you so much for joining us, Noof. We appreciate you. And let's see. He said his favorite is Assassin's Creed 3, the American Revolution. Yeah. And let's see. My wife says, for real, get rid of that game ASAP after you play. That's right. Crazy Greek Dude says, good morning, Crazy Greek Dude. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, not Ragnarok, Valhalla. You're right, Noof. It is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You are correct.
See, I was listening to you guys. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not Ragnarok. But like, I was like, I'm like, okay, we'll just go with it.
He said it. I went with it.
Let's see. I like the look of Assassin's Creed 1 better than 2. I can't wait to play Mirage. And let's see. Back from the Dead says, Valhalla was a good story, just not Assassin's Creed without stealth option. Oh, man, that might be my favorite one then.
It's an option.
Is this true? Is this true, Dread? Dreadful can't pronounce Valhalla because it has too many L's. Let me hear it.
No. It's Vaya.
Vaya. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, there you go.
The reason why New Flake said it is because it sounds like Viagra. No, it's Valhalla. I can say it. La 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 la.
There you go.
But again, I didn't buy the game, so I don't remember the name.
But there is an interesting detail here that not a lot of people might notice. Assassin's Creed, since Assassin's Creed 3 Xbox has had the marketing rights to all the Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 3, and now Assassin's Creed Mirage is moving over to PlayStation for marketing rights. Because I remember Origins being part of the Xbox Series X advertisement. I remember the Greek one. Oh, I forgot what it was called.
Odyssey
being advertised. And of course, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, being a launch title for the Xbox Series X, was heavily advertised. So now Assassin's Creed Mirage is moving over to PlayStation. So do you think Xbox is, we've been saying that Xbox has not been cutting a lot of third-party deals because they've been more focused on, internal stuff, putting their money inside, not taking it outside. Do you think that this is going to be one of those situations where Call of Duty, when Xbox lost the marketing rights to Call of Duty, sales started tanking? Do you think that this will make them start tanking on that end?
No, only because these games, when you look at the player base, they've always been greater on PC and PlayStation, regardless of the fact that, Xbox had marketing rights. So that didn't really do anything. So, I mean, everybody knows that Assassin's Creed is a multi-platform franchise. So, I don't know. I feel like marketing rights in that case really doesn't matter. Because I know that it's going to be on Xbox, so I don't care who advertises it. I know it's on Xbox.
I think those of us in the know. I think those of us in the know that it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, I believe it's the marketing on, only here you can buy, exclusive this, and then you find out that it's not just the game, it's actually an item. So maybe it's an exclusive colored hawk that, you know what I mean? So it just depends on how they do it, how it's presented, and how the fandom kind of runs with it too.
Well, the thing about Sony is they've always been very vague as far as what is exclusive. You know, they don't do exclusive on any of the showcases or any of their advertising. You know, they only do the only on PlayStation. Even if it's just like, you know, a different colored horse, they'll put the only on PlayStation there. Right?
That's why I call it
they
deceptive
won't
practices.
they won't flat out announce exclusive like Xbox does. And so they leave it very vague, and it's worked out for them very so far to just be, yeah, this is only on PlayStation. What we mean is the horse, you know. And so now that they got that Assassin's Creed on there, do you think that they're going to do that same shady marketing that we hate, but is very effective for them?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely possible.
So
it
don't you
works.
think that
I
will
mean,
affect
that's the
sales?
thing. It works.
I mean,
Yeah, well, that's my point.
I do know more and more developers are kind of losing interest in having things that in-game features that are exclusive to one platform over another. I mean, Sony's still probably going to be like, you know, here's a big check to do it anyway, like, you know, but I don't know. I feel like people are really starting to really hate that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really going to stop because I mean, Hogwarts just came out earlier this year with an exclusive PlayStation only mission or some crap, or an owl.
Yeah, like I said, they're going to flash a big check to try to be like, you know what? I know you don't want to, but money talks, you know.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's check in with the chat real quick. Cheo, I hope I said that right. Cheo Walker says, I never could get into Assassin's Creed. I feel you, Cheo. Every time I try to get into Assassin's Creed, I get robbed. So I could never get into it, no matter how much I want. I can't wait for Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. Hey, yeah, I do. Me too. That
would be cool.
I can't wait for it. And shout out to my mom, Lady Luna. She says, good morning, guys. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much, Mom, just for being here and supporting. Let's see. Just remember, Xbox is #1 from Jason Max. That's right. Shout out to Jason Max. And Red Monkey Butt joins us. Is Sony getting all those market rights just so they can pay to block from Game Pass? You know what? You might be right. You might be right. But, you know, if you can't block from Ubisoft Plus, that is what it's called, right, Terry?
Yes, it's Ubisoft Plus.
That's right.
They block themselves.
And I mean, technically, if Ubisoft Plus is now on Xbox, if they decide down the road to include that with Game Pass, then technically it's still, it'd still be in Ubisoft Plus, which happens to be possibly included with Game Pass, so they can still get it. If they, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they just got to get a better price point.
Yeah,
that's right. All right, well, let's move on from Assassin's Creed. By the way, guys, Terry, while I get set up here, we had a quick little poll for the chat. Can you read it out for us?
Are you looking forward to Assassin's Creed Mirage? 46% of you said yes, and another 46% of you are undecided. Shame on you. And then 7% of you said no. You know what? You're not my friend. Nope.
That's right. You know what? You might as well, instead of CoolCatTerri, you should be like Ubisoft Terry. That's right. All right. And the other game Terry mentioned is high on my list. It was going to be one of the games I mentioned. So that is none other than Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm gonna talk here because it was also it was the game I was gonna mention here. I never played the original Dragon's Dogma.
Dude!
Hold on. Okay.
Oh my God.
This trailer was so good. It showed everything I like in an adventure RPG, action RPG with awesome combat. And, I think I'm used to the Capcom combat because I play a lot of a Monster Hunter. So I know that the combat probably won't be like Monster Hunter, but look how great it looks. Look how awesome the species are, the spells. Everything just looks awesome. And just look at this right here. Like, I love this part here where, like, he summons a meteorite spell and it literally falls down from way back in the background from the sky. That's super awesome. And this just looks like my kind of game. Dragons. and whatnot. So I am very interested, just based on the trailer, which is what the trailer's supposed to do. You know, is bring in audiences that may not have known of this game or not been hyped for it. And now I am hyped for it. So I am very much looking forward to Dragon's Dogma right here. It looks amazing. Good stuff. And of course, right there, you can see him. I know the story of the original one where he eats the heart, the player's heart, and you're on a quest to get it. But I haven't played it. So with that, I'm excited for it. But I'm going to tag team right to Terry to tell me all about Dragon's Dogma, the original, and why I should be excited for Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh my gosh. So okay. I will, for those of you who have not played Dragon's Dogma and you're looking to go back and play it, I will say this. The gameplay is phenomenal. It's so much fun. It's got, the story really pulls you in, and it's a great game. But if you're somebody who's kind of a graphics snob, I will let you know, even when that game was brand spanking new, it looked awful graphically.
Okay. Like, instead of Dragon's Dogma, it looked like Dragon's Dog Water.
Yeah, so graphically, when it was brand new, and it, there were other 360 games that looked superior to the game. All right, I will say that it looked like garbage, but it played so good. Okay, so as long as you're not snobby about that, and you can enjoy the gameplay and the game for what it is, it's fantastic, and it's one of the. I don't know if it's. It was one. I think it may have been the first one. I don't think I've ever seen any other game do this, where you could have your friends would make their characters, and then you could then recruit your friend's character to be like an NPG to run around in your group and play with you. Like, I don't think anybody else has ever done that, and that was amazing. It was cool. Okay, you'd be like, okay, I got my buddy's character. And this one is when my buddy's character, they can't control him. It's all going to be AI. But like when my buddy's character would come in and he started playing awful, I could yell at him. I'm like, your guy sucks, and it was just fun. But no, it's a must play. It really is. It's just so good. And you get to, they kind of did that thing. What was it? Oh my gosh, I have it in my head too. Early PlayStation. Oh, what was that game called? Crap. I forgot it. But early PlayStation.
It was called crap?
No, I can't remember it. I know it too, and it's going to drive me crazy now that I can't think of it. But I think early PlayStation, there was the game. All you did was battle bosses the whole game. You had to climb on them.
Oh, Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus. Okay. So they take that concept for combat, so you would have griffins and other large things, and you would grab onto them and you would attack them and stuff too, which was pretty cool. Like right there, you can see him hanging on the griffin. So yeah, so very awesome. All right, because in Shadow of the Colossus, you didn't really fight while you climbed. You kind of climbed, got where you had to go, and then you did your thing. You had to hit specific points. This one, you kind of just hang on and do your thing the whole time. That's pretty cool. So yeah, no, gameplay's fun. Looking forward to 2. I'm hoping they do better with the dragon aspect, because they kind of screw you over. You don't really fight a dragon in the first one until
ruin it for me, Terry.
Okay, I'm telling you right now. All right, I'm telling you right now. The dragon in the first one is literally an end game thing, which is like everybody in the community has to fight, and that's it. So it was the biggest letdown ever. But otherwise, I'm hoping they do us right in this one, and we actually fight the dragon in the storyline, and not making it a community event that nobody ever did because the community wasn't, partaking. So I'm hoping they do some justice with that, because I want to fight a dragon. All right.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Splendifer says, me either, but I bought it a long time ago. Dragon's Dogma 2, and Gaz told him this game was great.
This game
Terry
is great.
Told you that as well now, so 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Cheo Walker said, I recently added Dragon's Dogma to the backlog graveyard. Yeah, it is also now on my backlog graveyard as well.
Keep in mind, as this game ages, it's going to look worse and worse because it never looked good to begin with, graphically.
As long as
so don't wait too long.
As long as the gameplay is tight.
The gameplay is so good, but I'm just saying, it's graphically, this game is not going to age well. So don't wait too long.
And let's see, Dragon's Dogma was so good during the 360 era. but it was competing against a really good game called Kingdoms of Amalur. So it's sort of overshadowed Dragon's Dogma. Okay. Sort of. And I think Shaddai is right. It was called the Pawn System, where your friends could come in
Yes.
as avatars. So shout out to Shaddai and his endless knowledge there. Dreadpool, the trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2. Did it get you excited to play it, or are you on the no or undecided list?
Well,
and it goes away.
I'm kind of iffy on it. The first one didn't do it for me. I just maybe sometimes some of these games might be timing. You know what I mean? To what you're into. So it looks good. It looks interesting. Like right there. You know, I just think it's kind of coincidence that the meteorite fell out of the sky and he said, "Hey, look at this," and I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems cool. Depending on price point and so forth, I'll try it out.
And keep in mind, this is from Capcom. Capcom has not missed in a few years.
Yeah, but I tried Monster Hunter and I'm not. I just can't.
Trust me, they didn't miss with Rise. They did not.
I mean,
if you're a Monster Hunter person, they did not miss.
I am not a fan of Monster Hunter. I did not like that game
can't.
at all. Not for me. But I love Dragon's Dogma. And I will add the caveat that when the game first came out, I did play it and I hated it at first. I hated it. So then I kind of put it on the back burner. I waited a year or two and I came back to it. And it was like I had a completely different view of it. I think it was, like you said, timing. I think it's just as I started playing more of different types of games at the time, I got more into that kind of stuff. So then when I went back to it, I was able to appreciate it for what they envisioned versus what was already what I was into at the time. So yeah, I went from a complete 180. I went from the first time I played it, absolutely hating it, to playing it like 2 years later and falling absolutely in love with it. So yeah, timing can definitely be a factor.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. Just like TV shows, just movies, certain things don't hit. Napoleon Dynamite was a hit, and a lot of people just didn't get it, and then they watched it once it hit TV somewhere, and all of a sudden they're like, "Holy cow, that was kind of funny," because it's a different type of thing.
Hilarious, man.
But you know what I'm saying? Some people caught it right away, and some others it took years. So this could be the same thing.
The type of movie, the more you watch it, the funnier it gets.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Like I said, that's why I'm not afraid to go back and try it out. But now that you said that with the first one, maybe I'll go back and see about trying that one out. I'm sure it's a lot cheaper now. And is it backwards compatible? Does anybody know?
I think it is, because they added Dark Arisen, the Dark Arisen version, which was basically them adding the New Game Plus. And when they added the New Game Plus version, they basically re-released the game, and that version became backwards compatible.
Okay.
Dragon's Dogma is not backwards compatible.
What about Dark Arisen?
Where is the list?
Because it's the same game, but they re-released it as if it's its own game, even though it's the same game. It just has New Game Plus. It's the only difference.
But again, I still got the 360 consoles. I got the 360 Elite, the 360 Slim, and I'm going to have the 360E coming in soon. So I still have support to the old games. It just depends on if those old games will be available or what's going on.
For me, keep going.
I was going to say, again, it's just basically, timing and the ability to go out and try it out.
Yeah. So like for me, when the game came out, I played it before I got into like Dragon Age and stuff like that, and Elder Scrolls. I hadn't played any of that stuff yet, so it was kind of like me slowly dipping into a different version of like an RPG than what I was used to playing. I didn't get it, but I loved Mass Effect, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try that other game, Dragon's Age. I ended up falling in love with Dragon's Age and became obsessed with it. And started, and then I got into Elder Scrolls and stuff as well after that. And then I went back to Dragon's Dogma, and then it clicked. I got it. I was like, okay.
So the most important insult, how close is it to Fable?
To Fable? It's nothing like Fable. It's nothing like Fable.
I love Fable.
I love Fable too. I absolutely love Fable, but it's nothing like Fable.
Okay. But it looks good. It looks good. Like I said, I want to try it. I'm not enthused over it, but I'll try it and see if maybe this one here will click.
Yeah, I would say it's probably more similar to Dragon Age Origins, kinda, but gameplay is still different.
Okay.
All right. So I'm pulling up a list of every backwards compatible game here. I tried to go from the actual Microsoft website, but it won't load. I don't know. Maybe it's written in JavaScript or something.
Splinter says that he bought Dragon's Dogma on the Microsoft store, so it should be backwards compatible.
I have.
And Doggy Dog said Dark Arisen is available this gen. See, it's the Dark Arisen version. Told you.
I don't see Dragon's Dogma at all on this list.
Maybe
on any list.
Maybe when they re-released it, they released it as a one game.
Maybe, yeah. If it was a
Xbox
one
One?
game, maybe.
Then
Yeah.
technically it's
Anyways.
PC. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, just look for the Dark Arisen version.
Split differences. Really, Axel? Endless knowledge and should die in the same sentence? Oh, man. And Fuzzy Belvedere, shout out to Fuzzy Belvedere. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Let's see. And of course, Napoleon Dynamite was hilarious. Not the type of movie my friends watch, but me and my bros are a little different. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like out of all my friends, I'm the one who enjoyed it the most.
Yeah, to this day, I do not find that movie funny. I don't know.
No.
That movie has never clicked with me. It's not my kind of humor.
I sat there.
That part where he
watched the whole
throws the
movie.
food to his I don't know what it is, his emo or his llama. He's like, Tina, come get your food, you fat whatever. He says. I just about lost it on that line. I died of laughter.
I was like stone faced the whole time, like, oh god, I can't believe I'm watching this.
So funny.
The part where he fell over the fence got me. That was it. And I was like, okay. Then I got into it more and was able to actually enjoy some of it. But again, it's certain things will do it for you. So maybe like you said with the key moment, you played the first one to a certain point and you're just not feeling it. Come back, you can kind of like, okay, I've already been here, done this, and then moved on, and then that part kind of clicked with you and off to the races.
There you go. And then that part where like Rex Kwon Do, oh my god, so fun. The whole Rex Kwon Do is so funny. And the fact that it's Freddie Prinze Jr., I think, that's doing the Rex Kwon Do, it's even more funny. Oh my god, so funny. That Napoleon Dynamite is a masterpiece. Shout out to Pixel Big G. He says that it is funny. There you go. And to Web Dave saying, yo, Dreadpool, what's up, Web Dave? Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Stopping in. Oh, well.
I think it had to do with the backwards compatibility.
Yeah. Let's see. Napoleon Dynamite was almost an exact copy of my high school boyfriend that I had told he should sue. Any relation to real characters, real or deceased or living, is just a coincidence. With that being said, let's move it along. Terry, we had a poll.
We had a poll
here. How do people feel about Dragon's Dogma?
Are you looking forward to it? 52% said yes. 29% are undecided, and again, there's 17% that said no. You are not my friends.
Oh, sorry. Chea Walker meant to say best friend, not boyfriend. Oh, my bad. When I read BF, I usually think boyfriend. You should have put BFF. Then I would have known you meant best friend.
Yeah, that's the problem with text. Sometimes you have to try to decipher certain things.
Right. So
it was a 50-50, man. 50-50.
There's a 50-50 chance I was going to get that right. All right. All right, Dreadpool. 12 games. We've gone over 2 of them. Terry took 2 picks, and one of them being my pick. So we're not going to go over my pick again. But which one got you the most excited out of these 12 games shown at the PlayStation Showcase that are coming to Xbox?
Well, we already spoke about one of my picks, which was the Mirage.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with Cat. No, I'm kidding. All right. So what I'll have to do is substitute another one, which will be Metal Gear Solid. and Alan Wake 2. Those are my two.
All right, Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear Delta. Now, the Delta was just a what was it? It was just a CGI trailer, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna put just.
It was just the way that they did the trailer was very interesting. You didn't know what it was at first until you got to it, and it was cool. I do like the fact that they're paying homage to the old game. However, they did openly say right away that they are using the exact same audio. Nothing is changing there. It's just
right.
The gameplay and the graphics are going to be the only thing that they're changing. So it's
So
literally
imagine this, but better.
Yes, exactly. All the audio stays the same. They're not changing it. They're not adding to it. That was from my understanding from their posting.
So they're not going to enhance the audio so it sounds better on today's tech?
I think they'll probably tweak it in that way, but they're not adding any more vocals.
I'm gonna say, like, that's some old audio.
Yeah, but they're not gonna go back and redo any of the audio.
I think they mean by audio they mean the voice samples.
Right.
Yeah, but it's even still, like, what I'm saying though is the recordings that they had, the different types of files that they would have had back then to today, it wouldn't sound as good,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they would have to enhance those, but they're not changing them.
Okay,
it's going to be the exact same audio. Whether or not they enhance it, that's another story. I would assume that they would do something like that for better clarity. But I mean, go over here and watch out for it's going to be the same tone. It's going to be the same thing. So I'm sure they'll probably clean it up and give it a better boost per se to be more pleasant in the audio portion of it, of the vocals, but the vocals are not going to change other than that.
That's fine. As long as they're going to kind of clean it up so it doesn't sound like very aged audio.
Yeah, it's not going to sound like it's 12-bit or something. It's not going to be like that. But that was the good thing, is they actually got up in front of it to say, hey, just so you know, we're not going to do this. I'm assuming because certain actors are deceased and they don't want to change.
They don't want people, and they probably don't want people to jump into conclusions either that they're going to replace something that is beloved to them.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's replacing the voice of Sam Fisher. You saw what happened.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to happen at some point in time. So they need to figure out a way to transition it. Here, the way they did it, they don't have to worry about it. It stays true to the audio recordings, with the exception of maybe some enhancements to clean up, like you said, the file to have a better sound audio, maybe a directional, because I don't know if it was mono at the time with some of these conversations. So maybe they'll put it into a stereo or full spectrum and enhance the audio that way of the vocals. The rest of the game will be obviously next gen.
So is this like a remaster of the first game? Like I've never played any of the Metal Gear games.
So this is a remaster of the third game. Now the third game has two variations out right now: Snake Eater and what is it? Resistance.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So the third game has two versions out. So this is going to be the third version of the third game, which is going to be Delta, which again is just Snake Eater essentially.
So, Japanese studios do these. What do you mean by version? Like, what's different about it? Like, again, this is the things that Japanese devs do. They make versions of it. It's just, I don't get it.
I think whenever they put it, so Snake Eater was originally exclusive to the GameCube. And if you remember the GameCube Jelly Bean controller, it didn't really handle analog style very well. And so I think when they remade it to Resistance, they added those nice analog controls to it. So I think that's the only difference, is when it came out to other consoles, they just couldn't call it Snake Eater because that was the GameCube version.
Yeah, it could have been a licensing.
I could be completely wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's true.
Yeah, sometimes some of that stuff is licensing. Like this name of the game is only dedicated to this console or this version, so they have to change it up a little bit for whatever reason. So that's possibility.
All right, let me see here. I'm on the Wikipedia page.
So Back from the Dead said twin snakes, not Snake Eater.
There you go.
Twin Snakes. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Awards, legacy, releases. Okay, here we go. Okay, so they had Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, Subsistence, and 20th anniversary re-release, HD edition, Snake Eater 3D, and now Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out, and of course Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. So this game has been available for some time. And you know, the HD collection came out on the 360 console, so, and that is backwards compatible, everybody. I know for a fact because I played it. It includes Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. So yeah.
Have they redone the first two?
I remember playing the second one on my 360. Metal Gear Solid 2, which I won't give it away, but it was a very good game. It just kind of threw you off at the beginning of what you thought you were going to be doing with who. But yeah, as far as today's release, they have one called Subsistence, was released in Japan in 2005, North America in 2006. It's basically a follow-up expanded version.
Don't worry.
Which is more missions. And it added an online multiplayer component. So you don't really need it if you're not a multiplayer guy.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, next year when they update this one here and re-release it with another version, it'll be called Regurgitation. So, don't worry about
Sticking
it.
with the chat real quick. Let's see. Clowns joins us. He says, "Hey friends, hey Italian Clowns, thank you so much for joining us. You are appreciated here. And be sure to like and subscribe, guys, and hit that thumbs up. It really helps us get discovered if you really hit that thumbs up button.
Yeah, don't forget to share this out. Get some more morning people out here with us.
That's right. You don't know who's driving bored in the morning. Let them know. Let's see. If I wasn't a Metal Gear fan, when they came out with those horrible controls for Snake Eater, I would have quit that game a long time ago, man. That's terrible. Hopefully they fix that.
That's what I'm hoping. If they're remaking the third one, hopefully it'll be kind of like what they did with Capcom with Resident Evil, is they start doing the remakes, and then the fans, wanted them to do more. So hopefully that will be the case, because I never played the series, and I would like to. It's just, the original ones are so outdated now. I don't think I would be able to enjoy them.
Oh man,
if
graphics for you are the thing.
It's not the graphics; it would be the controls and the gameplay. A lot of these older PlayStation games, I can't play the original Tomb Raiders. The controls are so awful. I can't do it. I love Tomb Raider. So it's one of those things where it's the controls would ruin it, and I wouldn't be able to play it.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, the controls might not be for you, but you're talking about a masterpiece. When I played that game, to me, it was the reason to have a PlayStation back in the day.
It's hard to go back. You know what I mean? When we've been spoiled with the tech of today, it's hard to go back. Because if I had played it back when it was new, it would have been a different experience. But now, since I haven't, going back to a very outdated tech, it's just going to feel awful.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, Metal Gear Solid 1 is a masterpiece, as I said. To me, it was the reason to have a PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy VII was fantastic. Parappa the Rapper was fantastic, but Metal Gear took the cake. So yeah. To me, I'm very excited for this one. If they do the graphics like they showed in the trailer. So if you look at these graphics here, right? Take a good look at them. Let me find a cutscene. Hold on. Let me see if I can fast forward into a cutscene.
Back when rocks all had straight edges.
Right, rocks had straight edges, and everything was that nice brown color. This is during the brown era. You know what I'm talking about?
Same people built the pyramids.
That's right. Okay, we are coming up to a cutscene. So here's a cutscene. Check out this cutscene. Whoa. Okay.
What a place
This is
to
a
jump.
cutscene. I was not expecting that cutscene, everybody. But you
Whoops.
can get the idea of how it looks, right? All right, we're gonna pause it there.
You're hearing a pause.
You're gonna-
Where's called to pause it? Oh my god. So embarrassing. Oh. And you look at
That'll
the
wake you up.
announcement trailer. Totally missed the point I was trying to make here. Oh my goodness. So if you look at
Just waiting for
the
your wife to
announcement
come in
trailer,
from
the
behind
way
you.
the graphics look way better, of course, as they should. Rocks are actually looking like rocks, not all straight edges. Everything
I
has
thought
nice
this was-
textures on it.
I thought this was going to be like an ant game or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was
Some
thinking, is
sort of,
this
like
an ant?
colony? And then you look
Around
at
it
like,
too.
didn't see the footprint, saw the frog, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? And then at this point in time, I was lost. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. What is this though?
But look how good this looks compared to the
Yeah,
scene that we just saw. If they keep that original scene with the lady in her underwear, we'll see. Wow. But mostly I wanted to focus on the way Snake looks. Right. And if you follow the Metal Gear Solid timeline, you know that Snake Eater is technically the first in the timeline. Even though it's not the first game, it goes backwards and it is the first in the timeline. So it's a good place to start, Terry.
Okay.
So, and here we go. You're going to see Snake here. Hold on. There he is. Look how much better he looks compared to what we just saw. That looks awesome. If the game looks closer to this, I'm in. I hope it does. So yeah. Let's check in with the chat, see what they have to say. Princess Zelda joins us. Shout out to Princess Zelda. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And of course, we are waiting with bated breath your return to the Iconic Video Games Podcast on Fridays. Let's see what else we got here. The controls suck for Snake Eater. Splendiferous is there with you. Let's see. Splendiferous. Oh, you made your point loud and clear, Axel. Yeah. But yeah, if it looks like this compared to what we just saw, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. Great choice, Dread. And, we did a quick poll here. We're going to go ahead and end the poll there. While I pull up the next one. Terry, can you read the poll?
Are you going to get Metal Gear Delta? 44% said yes, 33% said no, and 22% have not decided yet. I love how it's like 4, 3, and 2.
Yeah.
Cool. But all right. So yeah, this one is a lot more people on the fence.
Okay. Now, fortunately, there's a nice Xbox trailer for this one, so I can show this one. The other game Dreadpool had chosen was Alan Wake 2. So let's take a look at Alan Wake 2 real quick. Dreadpool, why'd you choose Alan Wake 2?
I don't know. Maybe the horror aspects of it. It's just, come on. I like the fact of how Alan Wake is the story writer and he writes out what's going on. So as you're playing the game, it's already been written, so it's kind of cool on that aspect. So you don't know what's going on, but as you progress, you find out that it's already been in the story that you're going to be here. And, and there's already a idea that certain death is about to happen anyway, regardless of, by the time you get to the end of the book and you're playing the book as if it was real life. And this, it's kind of cool. It's a really cool premise. I mean, I've liked the other ones, so this one here is going to be, it seems to be more, I don't know, hopefully scary. They don't scare me, but I do like how they encompass.
Well, it's more of a thriller. I think that was their point. It was supposed to be a thriller. Yeah,
but thrillers can be scary. They can, absorb you, and that's what I like about them. So again, it's cool. It's not your normal video game for most people. and the graphics look even better, even much. I mean, when I showed it to my wife, she's like, "Is that John Wick?" And I was like, "No, no."
No.
Like, no.
Be
But
awesome to have a John Wick video game.
right.
No.
But I mean, you're looking at this stuff, and you're seeing, just the horror elements of this, and the mystery. That's the cool thing. With this, what's going to happen, but you don't know, because it's until you get to that part and they write it out and they kind of tell you and lead you along to how you got here, and it's like, oh, this is reiterating what we just did. This is what's going on, and that part of the mystery is really cool. That's the part that you like, that gets you involved in the storyline.
Yeah. Very interesting storyline. Terry, are you going to play this game?
Yes, I did enjoy the first one because it was, like a thriller. I don't like horror games, so as long as they keep it to the way that the first one was, then I will get into it. If they do make it more scary, then I'm gonna lose interest pretty quick. So we'll have to see what they do with that. But I am excited to play it. I did like the first one. My only thing is, I really hope they don't do what they did with the first one with the birds, because that was annoying as crap. Having to constantly shine your flashlight at birds as they're flying at your face. It was so annoying. It was so annoying because you're being attacked, but you can't attack anything because you got to deal with the birds constantly. I hated that feature, so I really hope they did away with that.
All right, so let's see if they do away with it. I didn't play the first one mainly because it just, horror games don't speak to me. I don't think they're scary outside of the jump scares, and I think they move too slow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
as Terry reminded me, it is more thriller than horror.
Yeah, I won't play horror. I won't.
Yeah, now that's not to say that this game is not good or cannot be good. I think it can be good. It can be great. Obviously, it's very beloved by a lot of people. I have the game. I just never played it. So maybe I need to get out there and play it. But I know from Windows Central, Jez Cornyn, he holds Alan Wake in the highest regard. He thinks Xbox is dumb for having let go of this IP. Do you agree with that, DREADPOOL?
Oh, wholeheartedly, yes. They shouldn't have let this one go. And if you really want to get a taste of it, try American Nightmare. It's more arcadey. It tells a story and it wraps around. So definitely try that one if you're on the fence. And like I said, it's more arcadey per se than the other ones. And the other ones they have the same feel. It's hard to explain the differences, but I do feel that it's more arcadey, so it's a little bit easier, and it's a smaller story. So you can get in, get out, and get a taste of it and go from there. But obviously, as you can see, this is much more advanced. There's a lot more going on. There should be a better storyline than American Nightmare had. It had a cool little twist, but I think this one here would definitely be much better to experience. And it's coming out at the perfect time in October. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Games like this need to come out in October.
Agreed. Agreed.
Get into the
All
mood.
Right. Get us into the mood. Get us into that scary mood. I might check it out. We'll see. I don't know yet. I'm in the no to maybe camp. Terry, we had a poll. How does the audience feel about Alan Wake?
Are you excited for Alan Wake 2? 58% said yes, 25% no, and 16% maybe. So definitely a lot more people interested in this one.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest yes we've gotten so far out of all the games. So yeah, maybe I'm in the wrong here. I need to get into it.
Like I said, Axel, I don't get into horror games, and I really enjoyed Alan Wake.
Okay.
So
I might check it out. Shout out to Mike Mullis, the original Next Level Gaming. He says Alan Wake 2 was so underrated. I'm excited to see 2. Absolutely. So let's see. John Wick and Alan Wake, cool feature. That might be DLC now. Let's see. Does the chat say anything else? Wait a minute. You don't like horror games, or you do like horror games? Cool Cat.
I'm not a fan. I've played quite a few horror games. Every single one I was forced to play for my streams, and I never enjoyed any of them. So yeah.
All right. There you go. And the split difference in 2 minutes. That kind of a really funny conversation. That's going to do it for that topic. Again, guys, 12 games featured at the showcase this week are coming to Xbox. Hopefully you found some that you're excited about. You know, a lot of them look good. A lot of them looked awesome. Definitely more than one to be excited about. So, and a lot of them are coming this year. So that's also very nice.
So what was your second game, seeing that your first game was Mirage?
The whole point of this thing was to pick one game. You guys broke the rules. You picked two.
Hey, you let me break the rules.
That's right. I only picked Dragon's Dogma. If I had to pick one. If I had to pick a second one, it would be Metal Gear.
I thought it was going to be the Cat Quest.
No, negative. I don't like cats in general.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Terry.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Terry. In general, me and cats just don't get along. I'm not like cruel to them or mean to them.
You gotta smile more then. Cats respond to smiling. You gotta smile.
I just don't get along with cats. Oh, no. Like, I've had cat. I used to have a little cat. His name was Rainier. It was a Siamese Firepoint cat. And I love that cat so much. Every time I walked in the door, he would greet me by rubbing up against my feet and stuff. And one day I opened the door and he's not there. And it turns out he had passed away by jumping into an appliance. And my roommate at the time did not notice, and he died. And, you know, my roommate had two other cats, but those two other cats were assholes. Sorry, were jerks. Those two other cats were jerks, and I hated them. I had another roommate with another cat who was very nice, but again, it's a cat. And I think just because it wasn't my cat, and I was so jaded by the way my cat passed away, that I'm just like, I don't want cats. I'm a dog person now. You know? So no, I don't hate them, and I'm not cruel to them. I just, no, cats aren't for me.
Yeah, I just don't understand blenders.
That would be even worse. Oh my gosh. So yeah. Hold on. Did we? Yeah, we did.
What was that joke? With screen red goes 100 miles an hour?
What?
Frog in a blender.
Frog in a blender. Oh my god. All right. Let's see. Doggy Dog said, "I'm totally bummed Foam Stars isn't coming to Xbox." I might be. You might be the only one who's bummed about Foam Stars, there, Doggy. Let's move it along. Terry brought up this next topic, so I am going to let Terry take over for a little bit here.
All right. So this began right away here at the beginning of May, but people, for whatever reason, didn't start writing about it until a couple days ago. But I guess Xbox has been making some changes to the requirements for achievements in games. They want to cut back on games that have very easy achievements that you can get without really any effort. They don't want any more I am Mayo kind of games. You know what I mean? So they're basically changing the rule book on this to kind of, I guess they want to make sure that if people are earning an achievement, they're actually earning an achievement, not just, doing something foolish. Like, we've all played games, even big games, where you'll play the game, and as soon as you make your character, you instantly get an achievement. As soon as you start the game, like, you get an achievement, like, congratulations, you started the game. Like, achievements like that aren't really satisfying. They're unnecessary. So Xbox is trying to cut back on all of these easy to earn achievements. Because, I mean, to me, it makes sense. I mean, it's called an achievement. You got to do something, to achieve something. So got to put some effort into it. So yeah, I'm all for it. I know the achievement hunters out there are going to be definitely upset because they go out of their way to get games that they can get an easy 1,000 gamer score in 30 minutes. So those days are going to be behind you. So see what happens with that. But I'm all for this.
Yeah. So Pixelbeat G is sad. He says no, they're going to hit Paw Patrol, the achievements. So
no, I don't think they're gonna actually hurt or limit if you create a character, you get an achievement. It's those ones that you pay $5 to get a 1,000 score.
Yeah, like the IMA.
There was one game where all you had to do was stare at a wall or at a window or something, and the longer you stared at it, the more achievement you unlocked. and you could get all 1,000 by just staring at it.
And that's fine as long as you're doing something. But it's the
I
ones
guess.
that you just sit
Mhm.
there and you fast forward the game because you can actually play it at 2x or 3x or whatever, and you fast forward it, and it's just basically it's just a way for them to get money. It's the developers are trying to get money by cheating the system and
They did
using
mention
the achievements as a way to go ahead.
they did mention they want you to have a certain amount of gameplay in before you can get one. So yeah, so again, if you're just
Right.
starting the game up and you get one, you haven't invested any time in it, and they want you to make sure that you're putting over an hour in to earn it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games out there that are going out there that aren't games, and that all they are
Yeah.
achievement points, and those people are getting money to put out something that they called a game, and it's not really a game. It's
Mhm.
maybe a story.
It's definitely
maybe this,
gonna
maybe
knock that
that.
out.
It's not even worth their time to put on there. So they're trying to make sure that devs are actually putting out a real game and not just a money grab.
Yes.
Now,
Because
keep in
players
mind,
are-
this news came via a leak. As per a source, a developer in the ID at Xbox program that wishes to remain anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a leak. So the Microsoft has added 3 new fail examples to XR's 55. All achievements that can be unlocked within a few minutes of starting the game. Those are out. All achievements not represent the total exploration or engagement with the game content. Those are out. Achievements that can be unlocked without any or minimal user input unless required as part of the core gameplay loop. Now I want to go over here, right? Because if you recall, there's a little Xbox first-party game called the Rare Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you launched one of those Rare games, you got achievement points. You could just launch every single one of those Rare games and get 200 achievement points. I know this because I did it. So,
that's what they're cracking back on.
Yeah, so they got to crack back on their own game.
I don't think they're going to get rid of
games moving forward. Games that are already in existence, they're good.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of the stuff that's out there. This is going to be for anything that hasn't released yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now it's for ID at Xbox, which means it's the smaller developers. It's not going to be like the bigger ones as of yet. So it'll roll. I'm sure it'll roll out to the bigger ones.
It probably will. They're definitely going to start with the indies because that's where all the shovelware abusers kind of are at. So
yeah,
yes, that is exactly why they're targeting them. $5 and you can get your 1,000 achievement points. Good to go. And people are spending, $5, $10 here, $5, $10 there, and getting their points and racking them up real fast. So, and I think what they're trying to do is, again, it's kind of a predatory, I guess you would say. And I know most people are adults that are doing this, so it's not really predatory, but it has like a predatory aspect of it because it's real cheap and you can get these 1,000 points and you can move on, but you haven't really played a game. You haven't done anything except for spend money just to get points. And I think that's what they're trying to do is get you to actually play a game and enjoy the game and enjoy, that's the whole reason for these achievements is to give you an added feel good. It's not to, I mean, there are achievement hunters out there, but I think it's just an added, hey, by the way, just so you know, you did something cool here, and this is what the percentage of people are doing. So
I also see this as a good thing for Xbox because, I mean, all the gaming platforms out there suffer from those kind of games that, you can just boot up and you can smash a button like 1,000 times and there you go, you get like a freaking platinum or 100%, achievement or whatever. This is going to make it to where, they can at least say that now they have their library is more quality, because they're filtering out all that stuff, which would be a good thing, which would be great if this ends up taking off and then other platforms adapt it as well. That would be great too. But otherwise, yeah, you're going to see people who still want to do that. They're going to go to the Nintendo or PlayStation or PC to continue playing those kind of games if that's what they think is the end all be all. But I like this. This is going to make a better quality environment for Xbox and push indie devs to do better and to actually take some time to make a game and not just throw something. I'm always going to use IMAO as a reference because that game, I hate that game exists. So yeah, so we don't need stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'm all for this. I think this is great, and I really do hope that Sony and Nintendo and Steam and everybody else adapt it in the future as well, and to filter out this crap.
There's also it just dawned on me, Game Pass. You have achievements there. Like you put the Microsoft rewards and the Game Pass rewards right now, because it used to be play any game and you'd get like 50 points, or now it's dropped down to like 5 points. But your daily is no longer just play a game, a Game Pass game. Now your daily is play a Game Pass game and earn an achievement. So, and that's 50 points right there. So I think that's partially why they're pushing it now, is to get it past that. So that way you're not just getting this cheap game for $5, get your achievement, and then every day keep getting another achievement over and over again. We could make it easy. That's the whole point of some of the stuff, these tasks and these, I guess your dailies and your weeklies is to get in there and play a game. I had to do Farming Simulator. I'm not a Farming Simulator kind of guy, but I had to sit there and play it for 200 points. I had to play, it says 0 of 2 what? So I drove around like I thought, past 2 miles didn't work. And I was, so I had to like go back in and kind of like manipulate the game a little bit more and kind of learn what I was doing to get those 200 points. It'd be a 2 of 2 to earn those points. And I think that's partially why this is going on, is get an achievement every day, you get 50 points. And those points add up.
Yeah, no. To me, this is really nothing to me. I don't really care about achievements. I've been on Xbox Live, or Xbox Network as it's called now, for 15, 16 years. And I think I have like maybe 80,000 achievements. I don't have much. I'm not an achievement guy. I play the game and enjoy it. That's it. I've only 1,000. I decided to try to get into achievements one year, and I unlocked 12,000 achievements that year. And for me, that was like a lot. I know people like Doggy, 12,000 achievements is nothing because he'll get that in like a week. But for me, that took like a full year, 12,000 achievement points. So yeah, I'm just not an achievement guy. I don't care for it. And my best year, I unlocked 12,000. So this really doesn't affect me. But I think it's good to get rid of the kind of the crap games that have come out throughout on Xbox Network. The store, they're really just cash grabs to try to get on people's addiction to having achievement scores. Your achievement score used to mean something. Now I think it's kind of pointless to an extent, which is why I don't do achievements. Because I think there was an article not too long ago where a guy ended up getting like 250,000 achievement points in one day. That's insane. I got 12,000 in 1 year, and this guy got 250,000 in one day. I don't know how many Xboxes he has at his house, but he must have been playing all of them. So to me, this is a good change. I'm for it. I support it. Achievement should mean something. As Back from the Dead says, it's called an achievement, not a participation trophy. I agree. Yep. So yeah, as Back from the Dead stated. So yeah, to me, it means it's not a bad change on my side.
Yeah.
So I'm for it.
Yeah. And like for me, I used to be an achievement hunter, but I was an achievement hunter before it became tainted by this new age achievement hunting, where they go and they get these crappy, games that they don't have to put any effort into playing for easy score. That's when I kind of dropped out of achievement hunting, because it lost its luster. For me, it was, I played games I generally wanted to play, and I would dedicate myself to that game to get everything I could get on it. And, so that way I could actually have satisfaction, be like, you look what I did, I got all this stuff, feel proud of it. They took all that away when they started pushing this other stuff. So you can't brag about your achievement score anymore if you're earning it by, playing this other stuff.
Doggy and clowns.
You know, there's nothing to brag about
with them.
Like
Where they were having like a competition one day.
You go and you play IMAO, you smash the one button like 1,000 times, you get all your achievement points, and you want to brag about that? Like, you didn't do anything, you know. So I mean, yeah. So achievement score because of games like that, they've lost. I don't know the words I want to use, but yeah, they're not satisfying, and yeah, you can't brag about it. There's no satisfaction. It's all gone.
The whole meaning, the whole meaning of earning that million, it's kind of like out the door because now you just cheated through it. You know what I mean? So
when you get a $250,000 in one day, it's not significant anymore.
Yeah. And because I have over 220,000 gamer score, you know. And I used to be proud of that because I worked for that. I didn't do BS stuff to get it, you know. Like I earned that the hard way, you know. So, but now it doesn't mean anything because you have people who have higher score than me that didn't earn it.
So what are these games again?
I just want to hold on. I'm loading up my Xbox app because I know it's low for the amount of years I've been on Xbox. This thing should be much higher, but it's really not.
I'm at like 80 something for the past 20 plus years.
I'm at 69,277 achievement points. There you go. Not very many. So yeah, that's just where I'm at. Let's check in with the chat real quick. BMG joins us. Thank you so much, BMG, for joining us. We appreciate you. Cyber Gunther joins us. Says, hello, everybody. Shout out to Cyber Gunther. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Mike, the original Next Level Gaming, says there should be a sometimes option in the poll. There's a poll. Terry, what does the poll say?
As soon as it pops up. And are you an achievement hunter? 64% say no. 35% said yes. And yeah, I'm in the no category because, they ruined it for me. They ruined it.
There you go. So Mike says there should be a sometimes option in the poll. And I replied to Mike that you're either a hunter or you're prey. All right. Let's see. My mom, shout out to my mom. She's going to church. Thank you so much for watching while you could, Mom. Appreciate you. Let's see.
Just keep the earbud in.
Yeah, right. Doggy Dog says Nintendo needs to have achievements and a gamer tag option and a party chat. And
yeah, I do agree with that. You know, Nintendo doesn't have like an achievement thing, but they still have their library. Their library is probably the worst when it comes to consoles, when it comes to games like that. Like they don't verify, they just kind of slap everything on there.
You know, I was Nintendo has like earn coins the more games you buy. So every time you load up a game, if it's like within the first month or so, you get these Nintendo coins. And I added it up. You would have to buy 200 Nintendo games to earn one free Nintendo game. So that coin system is awful. Nintendo's very stingy. Let's see. Megalodon Death Dealer. Shout out to Megalodon Death Dealer. You can catch her on the Iconic Video Games podcast every Friday night. She says the only achievements I'm interested in involve killing zombies. Those are funny. And of course, Mortal Kombat achievements. They're worth getting. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jago Coogan is going to get an achievement for liking a Nintendo product. Jago says, never, Cyber. They'd have to actually have good games for that to happen. Oh, well, they do have
Wait now. Yeah. They do have some good stuff.
Yes. But Doggy says, and Doggy, as you know, does do achievements. He says, yes, they've needed to crack down on these games. Figured this would happen eventually. Yeah.
Sorry, Doggy. No more cheating on you.
And Doggy says, I never brag about my score. Anyone who has over 1 million has played those kind of games. Yeah. Doggy blows me out of the water in achievement scores. He's like, I think he's got like a 500,000 or something like that. Can I look at him? On the Xbox app?
Yeah, but Randall Thor hasn't. I mean, granted, he's played Barbie, horse petting or whatever it was called.
Yeah, and he said that he did that because
back in those days, they didn't have those kind of games that you could cheat with. So he had to play literally everything to get to that point.
Yeah. Okay, I was wrong. Doggy has 846,000 points. He's over at that mill. He's almost there. DREADPOOL has 82,000. Let's see, where's CoolCat? Oh, CoolCat, we're not friends?
But mine's 224,000 and hold on, 224,058.
Yeah.
I don't
see
believe it
CoolCat
until
on
somebody
here.
else verifies it.
That's
I
right.
can share my screen.
Let's see. Let's see. You better accept my friend request. That's all I know. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Let's see. There's easy games where you get completions easy. That's why people's gamer scores their way up there. Not everyone can 100% a game like Rand. Special in them, hard ones. Yeah.
Some games though have achievements that aren't worth it. You know, like Gears of War with their Seriously and Seriously 2.0. It's not worth it.
I tried to get one of those one year. I tried to get Seriously 1.0. I had a full year to get it. I couldn't get it.
Not worth
I couldn't
it.
get it. And Cheo says his is at 331,000. Yeah, guys, let us know what your achievements are. Your score is. I'd love to see that. Let's see. No way anyone over 1 million has just played a bunch of AAA games. Yeah. I agree with Doggy. I got 120,000 hard-earned Chivo points. That's right. Guys, post your Chivo points in the chat. I'd love to see where you guys are at. Let's see. I'm addicted to achievements, but I'll never pay full price for the shovelware. Never play full price.
Only discounted price.
I just finished seeing a comedian.
He's the I'll wait for it to be 99 cents.
I just finished watching a comedy comedian on Amazon. I forgot his name already. And but the whole point was like how his family doesn't pay full price for anything. Like they'd rather starve than pay full price. It was so funny. And I'm like, yeah, I could agree with him because when I was broke, I didn't pay full price for a single thing, not even my video games. So I feel you, Doggy. I feel you. Let's see. Jesse W brings up a good little point here. It's not cheating. You pay money for the game. So what the hell's the difference? If you paid for it, it's not cheating. We're not saying you're cheating, man. We're just saying it's kind of a cheap way to do it.
It's like it's called an achievement. What did you really achieve?
You didn't achieve money.
Anything. Yeah, you spent money. Yes, granted, you can do what you want with your money, but you can't brag. The whole point of an achievement or earning a trophy is bragging rights, saying that I did something that a lot of other people haven't been able to do. If you go and you get a game where you can get it with barely doing anything, that's nothing to brag about. It's
like climbing Mount Everest, right? You can brag that you climbed Mount Everest versus, oh, I walked up this hill. I did just as well as you did.
Versus paying for the helicopter ride. They drop you off on top. You step a pic. Look, I'm on top of Mount Everest. No, you didn't do it, dude.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, but
I would pay for that.
The way that these games
Achievement
are paying for it, they paid for a helicopter
and I would totally
ride.
post it on social media. Achievement unlocked. Climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah, when you pay for the helicopter ride.
That's right.
Yeah.
I stepped on a sidewalk that had Mount Everest scribbled on there.
You know what? I'm just gonna green screen Mount Everest now. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Xbox's new rule won't bother me at all because I stopped buying those easy games like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't consider myself an achievement hunter. Yeah, and Randall Thor has 1 million probably by now. More by now. He hit 1 million a long time ago. He hit it live on the Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, he did that with Ori.
Yeah, with Ori, and that was back in the day when easy achievement games were not widely available.
They barely even existed, if that.
Yeah. And Doggy Dog says, I'll get to 1 million, then I'll be satisfied.
Will you?
If I get 100,000 before I die, Doggy, I'll be happy.
You said you're an addict to achievements, okay? You'll never be satisfied.
That's right. Mecha Guides help a lot of gamers get achievements across all types again. I agree, Cyber Gunther. Mecha Guides is amazing.
Mecha's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Back from the Dead says he has 118,000 achievement points. Jesse Darby says he has 358,000 achievement points. Wow. You guys are awesome.
You guys are bragging a little too much.
Here we go.
For you guys. Good for you guys.
Jago Coogan says, I just green screen the top of Mount Everest. I'm with you, Jago.
Achievement unlocked.
Dog is give me the helicopter. That's right.
Watch out for those ejection seats.
That's right. And Jesse Darby, so does this mean Xbox made a limit to how many achievements you can put in the game for a gamer score? No. The rule though is 1,000. Like a lot of people consider 1,000 achievements to be the completion point. But I know that I've played smaller games. Like I remember, if you guys remember Windows Phone back in the day, they had a Fable game called Fable Coin Golf. It was a mobile game, and it only had 200 achievement points. And man, I loved Fable Coin Golf. I wish I could still play it. It was so much fun. I feel like it was a hidden gem, and they need to bring it back. Let's see. My achievement is going to work. Dang it, getting all these games and all these systems and paying for everything I like. No. It is what it is. All right, what an interesting topic. Hold on, did we? Yeah, okay, there's no waiting poll. And with all that being said, let me do something here. Where did you go, Terry? Where did you go? There you are. And it is time for Terry's Indie Spotlight.
All right, everybody, it is me, CoolCatTerri, with yet another indie spotlight for you guys. But for this one, I do have to make a disclaimer because Axel likes to keep this channel, PG. My game is rated mature, so there is, lots of violence and some blood. So if you have little ones that you don't want to see that, remove them for the moment. All right. That being said, let's get into the action.
It's the end of the line for you, Grave.
So many bullets. That looks awesome. That was awesome.
All right. So Gungrave Gore. Now this is not the first game. All right. So for those of you who are not already familiar with Gungrave, Gungrave is actually an anime, and they made the very first video game based on that anime back in 2002 on the PlayStation 2. There have been a few other games that have been made based on Gungrave, but this is the newest one that just came out on Xbox as well as other systems last year. So go ahead and check this one out. So yeah, keep in mind now, if you're not familiar with Gungrave, it's going to play the way games played back, old PlayStation 2, 360 kind of era. So you're not going to be doing your run and gun and going behind cover kind of gameplay. That doesn't exist in that timeline. Okay, back then you just shot everything. And basically you're going to be the cover. Okay, you got to, build up your skills, and you just completely onslaught everything into complete chaos. And you don't take cover in this game. All right, that doesn't exist.
You dodge like crazy, like an anime.
No, you don't. No, this character, he's the cover. All right, so you just gotta figure out how to use your stuff and attack everything and don't get dead. All right, you're the cover. All right, you gotta get that concept in. You are the cover. So there's no dodging all crazy and going behind stuff. That's not the point of this character. All right. So Go and check it out. It's on all platforms. It's a $50 game, but it is on Game Pass. So for those of you who want to, dip their toes into some Gungrave that have never done it before, go ahead and do so. It's a third-person action shooter like you saw, and you get to play the baddest anti-hero you can never think of, So go and do that. So enjoy yourselves.
What a fantastic game.
So think Rambo.
Yeah.
Think Rambo. There you go. Yeah, that was a great trailer. I'm with Splendiferous here. He says, "Dang, that was hot." I agree with him. That was hot. And shout out to Scott Free. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. He says the new Gungrave anime was kind of meh. And he's a bullet sponge, that's for sure. So he knows what you're talking about. There you go. Yeah. And Dreadpool covering his eyes. You made Princess Zelda laugh. There you go. Good stuff.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah, Gungrave looks amazing. That was a pretty good looking trailer. I'm not gonna lie to you, Terry. Another fantastic game from Terry's Indie Spotlight, guys. Hopefully you guys liked it. All right, and yeah, we got some time. Let's talk about it. So our filler topic today, we got some time, is something that I am very adamant about, because I do believe it's there, and that is media bias against Xbox. Now, I'm going to target mine. Mostly with article headlines and whatnot, not so much ratings. But this came into the forefront because Special Nick from Xbox Era said that a lot of sites have already predetermined to give Starfield a 7.5, just so that they could make 100 more articles about Xbox sucking and not being able to get it right. And if Starfield does not hit, in the high 80s or better, I do believe that Special Nick is right. Everybody's going to hate on Xbox. They're going to make a million articles about how they can't get it right, or like, look what happened in Bethesda because Xbox bought them, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I do agree with Special Nick. I don't agree with the fact that people are predetermined in giving Xbox games low scores. Because when you play the competition and you see these games that are getting 10s, and then you look at stuff like Xbox games. Now, granted, Xbox makes some very good games. Like, they have the best racer, bar none. Flight Simulator got a 10. Halo got a 9, I believe. It's sitting in an 84. That's really respectable for Halo where it is right now. I think that a lot of the reviews are fair, but the articles that follow the reviews are terrible, because even though Halo's an 84, Halo's doomed, Halo sucks, Halo's the worst Halo ever, 343 messed it up. I don't know about you guys, but an 84 doesn't deserve that kind of hate, right? And so this all really came to a head after Special Nick with with Kat Bailey. She is the senior news editor, I think, at IGN, and she said, Sony didn't show anything beyond 2023 at their showcase, other than, the Jade Raymond game and Bungie's game. And she said, Sony will have a major tentpole release next year. I mean, they're not Xbox. And here's where we're getting with the media bias. This tweet could have been just fine without this part right here. That's just throwing shade unnecessarily. And of course, she deleted her tweet and then made her account private. So yeah, as you can see, this tweet has been deleted. Yeah, but thank God somebody screenshotted. Everything lives forever on the internet, guys. So be careful what you post. But yeah, it's always this extra shade with people from everywhere, just everywhere. I mean, Xbox was the highest rated publisher, I think, for 2 years in a row, or at least 1 year, and very close to next year, with an average meta of 87 or something like that for 2 years in a row. And then Redfall comes around, sucks, and I mean, the reviewers hate it, and suddenly it's doom and gloom for Xbox. Everything, all those other great games you've been enjoying, irrelevant. Xbox should just get out of the business. Xbox is doom and gloomy, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what it's a bunch of fear, uncertainty, doubt being inserted by the games media. So I do believe it's real in my head because I see it. I'm not stupid. And you compare it against the articles for the competitor. I believe it might have been Game Rant or Eurogamer, and it's like, oh, that game, that Sony show wasn't great, but here's why it was still the best, and all this other stuff. Like, there's no doom and glooming Sony from the media at all. So I am tired of this doom and gloom Xbox from literally every major publication out there.
Well, a lot of that is to get the clicks. It's a lot of that
to get the clicks.
Yeah,
but I'm tired of it.
Of course, but that's what gets it, and they know that this negativity, they're just cosmopolitan out there, or not cosmopolitan. What is the other ones? The grocery store shelves. They're just trying to get your eyeballs, and when they do that, it creates a reaction, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that reaction, and unfortunately, it's the same reaction with Hi-Fi Rush. It got doxed points. It was a great game, but it got doxed points because Xbox hadn't put any games out.
Yeah, I remember
How does that make sense? Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. But that's what they're doing. They are going after the things that would click and creating I guess a narrative in that aspect that, hey, this is what we're looking at. This Starfield's going to be a 70. Well, now we can actually go through there and add more to it, and we'll have follow-up articles that will still get eyeballs towards our direction. I mean, sometimes hate drives people to go react and go from there, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that. They're not being, and unfortunately, they're being, a lot of people are being blinded. You and I, we all know what's going on. Xbox has no games, but yet they were collectively at a higher score than everything until the Redfall dropped. So if they have no games, how are they collectively higher meta score, critic score, whichever one it was, to you know what I'm saying? It's not like they only had one game that kept them up there. They had several games that were decent, and everything's not a AAA banger. Everything's not this. Everything's not that. There's so many different tastes in games and opinions. And these things shouldn't be listed as fact. It's just a collective. It's a collection of different opinions and ideas, and you're just trying to give you guidance as to making your own choice. It shouldn't be the one, because it scored 100. It's everything. I mean, how many games have said, what was it? The last Zelda, it had some issues, but it's still a perfect 10. How's it a perfect 10 if there were some issues? Right. Just saying.
I'm right there with you, man. I don't believe in perfect 10s.
There's no such thing as a perfect 10.
10s.
I do not.
That's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is media bias is rampant. The justification for it, it's for clicks. That's not a good justification for me. That's a baloney justification. That's like a cop-out justification. It means it holds zero water in my world.
That literally means your writing is so bad that it doesn't carry itself. You need to do clickbait to get people to read your crap. You know what I mean? Maybe write better.
Yeah. So I'm just so sick and tired of the media bias, and it was apparent this week. It's been apparent all month, if I'm being honest with you. The month of May has been incredibly apparent to the media bias, especially in the headlines and in the stories they choose. Like, oh man, we don't have anything for this week. What are we going to do? Let's bash Xbox. Yeah. And this is where a lot of this talk of like, oh, they don't talk bad about Sony because Sony will cut them off. And I'm to the point where, like, you know what? Stop giving IGN first anything. You know, screw them. They don't respect you anyway. Like, they literally don't. I don't understand. If someone kept bashing me and bashing me and bashing me, I would not work with them. I wouldn't. And I don't understand why Xbox marketing continues to work with these publications, especially in today's era with the digital distribution is so widely available. They don't need them. You know, an Xbox Wire, they have their own Xbox Wire publication. That's where they can do their own press releases. You know, their own showcases. They can do their own showcases. Their developer directs. They can have here's the first 15 minutes of Starfield gameplay event or something. You know, they don't need IGN first. They don't need IGN's hate to come to succeed in today's digital distribution, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I really don't think that they need them. You know, if IGN just had to, like if I was to start a new publication, all I would do was parrot whatever Microsoft officially would release. I'd have no interviews. I'd have none of that, right? I don't see why they don't do that to IGN, because IGN has just how many times are you going to let the same person beat you up? Like, I feel like it's a bad domestic abuse situation with these publications.
It's funny how IGN has a Xbox division, and they don't seem like they're Xbox anything.
Yeah, that's. Somebody else speak for a minute.
All right, so for my take is the biggest issue with this is because we have a huge problem with yellow journalism. And a big advocate for that is the fact that these gaming companies are here. Let me go back. So there's a lot of media personnel will sit there and die on the hill that they are not getting paid for their review of a game, which is utter BS. Because the moment a company gives you a game to play and they do not take that game back after the review, you were paid. Okay, you accepted goods for a review. Those goods may now in turn change your opinion on how you're going to review that because you want to continue to have the exchange of free goods. All right, so you're being paid. You might not get a check, but you're accepting goods. All right, you're being paid. And so that's not right. And a lot of these companies like IGN accept these goods. They even came out and complained, I think a couple years ago, about how they were refusing to do a game review because the company, they demanded they needed, I think, like 20 copies of this game so they could have all their people play it to do one review. Like, why do you need, no, they don't need to do that. All right. And a lot of these companies, when they give these games out, they let them keep these games. They don't take them back. That's yellow journalism. All right. Now they're gonna be in your favor to always, do right because they want to continue to get free stuff. Okay. These companies are supposed to take the stuff back after the review. That's what they're supposed to do. But most of them don't do that. So that's why you're gonna get this bias. Okay. They're getting free stuff. Of course, they're not going to want to bite that hand that feeds them.
Yeah. Here's the other problem with bartering like that. When you do that, some of these companies, let's say the third party, they provide them the PlayStation version. They don't provide them each version for that way you could say, hey, here's a PlayStation version, here's an Xbox version, here's a Nintendo version, here's the PC version, here's another whatever made up console from here on out will be. So they don't give them an opportunity to play each version. And I think part of that is also depending on the company that's also putting out contracts, which Sony makes them do and pushes that part of the narrative. So again, those narratives change because the fact that they only have one option to play, and that is typically a PlayStation option, as opposed to having an option to play an Xbox or to see what the full spectrum of the game is for each version. and very few companies do that. And unfortunately, a lot of YouTubers that do that on their own, that's a lot of money to spend for one game to do a review. You know, they can't really afford it. Where companies like IGN and GameSpot and all those, GameSpot, yeah, Game Rant and all that, but that's what they do, you know, and they're getting the free copy. So again, that barter system that they're getting has influence, and that's part of the thing. That's why a lot of YouTubers are like, I paid for this with my own money.
Yes.
Here you go. They're
You're gonna
being
get
upfront.
Yeah, you're gonna get a more honest review of it too, because they're not swayed by, okay, if I tell this person I don't like their game, they're not gonna let me, you know, they're not gonna let me review any others.
And there's repercussions from the blue team. If you have a bad review, you get you get the repercussions come at you hard.
They contact you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the red team does the same thing too. They don't like the negativity.
Yeah.
I'm sure
they have always denied that happens, but
I've seen people on the red team being supported and all of a sudden drop like a bad habit.
When they said too many negative things of it. Yeah, I've seen it too.
The blue team I've seen do that, and then I've seen the green team supporting people that have given them bad everything. And it's like, why even bother? Why even give them anything else? I mean, I'm not saying that you should give it to people that support you like that. You should give it to non-biased as much as possible to help them with that part of it, and then say, hey, look, here's what we have, here's our game. But when it comes to third parties, you don't have any control over that. Unfortunately, it seems that if there's negative talk about a blue team, there's negative repercussions that still happen, even though it's a third party that gave them the option, or not option, but gave them the game. I've been involved with some of this stuff where they ask you what platform you prefer to try it out on. So sometimes that is a factor, and if you only have one console, then that's the one you're going to be choosing. So you are in effect sort of biased in that aspect because it is your preference. That is the only platform you have. So there is that catch-22. But if you're at IGN, you should have everything accessible to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, look at Amanda Sanchez. She only had PlayStation games to review, and she, but she didn't have an Xbox. Xbox ended up sending her one, so she would have ones, and she can do reviews on Xbox. But again, you shouldn't have to get
Sanchez
to that
is
point.
on Unlock, IGN Unlock, the Xbox podcast.
Right. And how do you not
see what
have,
I'm saying?
That's my point. How do you not have an Xbox if you're on this? You should be able to talk about this and know what you're talking about. Now she can, but again, before all this happened, why didn't IGN provide her with an Xbox console to review a game that's on Xbox and do that? Obviously the full spectrum. If it's a third-party game, she should be able to talk about the Xbox third-party version of it. She should be able to talk about the little ones are fighting. We should be able to talk about everything that's going on, honestly, because we know what we're talking about. We've actually played it on the Xbox. We've played it on the PlayStation. Here are the differences, or here are the similarities. Oh, guess what? There are none. Everything's the same. There's no issues. You can play it on this one. You can play it on that one. The 3 blades of grass, stop that. That no longer is a factor. Dropping a frame here and there. Come on now. That's part of the media bias. Again, we're nitpicking little details.
That won't matter.
It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And that's the part of it. It doesn't make sense if you're on an Xbox podcast to not have an Xbox.
Yes.
Just saying.
And that's why, I always tell people, if you're interested in the game, you should just get it yourself. Even if you're not fully convinced on buying it, then go rent it. All right? Or borrow it from somebody if they have a physical copy. Yeah, I Gamefly all the time because there are some games I'm unsure about. And then if I end up really enjoying it, then I buy it from Gamefly at a discount. That's a win-win for me. I got to try before I buy. All right? So, do that. Form your own opinions about stuff because you can't go off of, game reviews. If you want to watch YouTubers you like, if you you can, a lot of them are going to be honest, but you got to be careful. The bigger YouTubers, they're going to be no different than the social media guys because they're getting all the free handouts.
Mhm.
All right. They're the ones that are getting invited by Bungie to come in and have private meetings about what they want to see happen to the game. All right. You got to be careful with that. So, so you gotta,
The ones that are being invited to go play Redfall.
Yeah. So
And
those
then
are
they
going to be
say, oh man, the combat's awesome, and it's a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you gotta be careful.
And that's the thing. The reviews are opinions, and that's why
Mhm.
I prefer to have reviews getting facts also along with the opinions. This is what this game is about. This is what this does. This is what the type of game. Give all those facts out there because a lot of them just give an opinion and then they move on, and nobody knows what the true game is about. You know what I'm saying? So you have to watch a trailer. The trailer's not going to show you what the game's about. You see some of the stuff, but you don't know. And that's the whole point of some of these reviews should be, this is what I played. This is what you have to do to play the game. This is what the key features are. There's so much more into it other than just my opinion, and that's where I think a lot of reviewers today fail when they write articles, when they're doing the and they're the media. They're the ones that are supposed to be helping. Yeah, and they're the ones that are supposed to be helping us, the normies and the public, understand what the game is about, so you're better informed. You're not better informed when I say I don't like this game because it plays like dog whatever. You know what I mean? You're not giving information. This game sucks.
Exactly. If you're going
why
to,
does it suck?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big problem with a lot of gamers. Not even if you're sorry, someone's making noise outside. My dog is on it. But I wanted to say that that's one of the biggest issues with gamers. A lot of times you'll see gamers go on like Twitter or whatever. They'll just start ragging on a game about how they hate it. And you ask them, why do you hate it? And they can't give you a reason. Oh, I just hate it. If you can't give, constructive criticism on why you dislike something, the devs and other people who may be interested in the game, they have no clue what you hate about this game to know if it's something that's going to be a factor to them or something that they can fix. All right. So gamers are a big problem with this. You'll see a lot of them. Oh, I hate it because I hate it. You can't just hate it because you hate it. There's a reason why you hate it. You have to dig deeper, man. Why do you hate it?
Yeah, like
it's not a banger.
Like a lot of people form opinions on something they don't have a full understanding of. Like I can't remember. I read somewhere that somebody gave a game a low score because they didn't finish it. They've only played like 4 hours of it or something on an epic 40-hour game. So you play 10% of the game and you think you can give an informative opinion, versus somebody who has completed it, who can give a complete opinion. And that's just the media as a whole. But, this whole anti-Xbox narrative that just anti-Xbox for clicks, anti-Xbox for clicks, anti-Xbox for clicks. Who's clicking on all that stuff? All these Blue Team podcasts who get no news from Blue Team, so the only news they have is anti-Green Team. And
see,
and that's their audience, and I don't understand why. Like, I get it that that PlayStation outsells Xbox a lot. I think it's in Europe 4-1. In America, it's closer. They might even be trailing in the US, but it's just I don't know, man. It's a bunch of crap that these articles come out bashing Xbox for no reason. I use that tweet as a prime example. That tweet could have been said without that Xbox line.
Right.
Yes.
It's an extra dig that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, and that's the part that I get at. And IGN's been doing it for so bad. The Tomb Raider exclusivity. Xbox was crucified for that Tomb Raider exclusivity. But that Final Fantasy 16 exclusivity, man, PlayStation was praised for it by the same person.
Yep.
And he's supposed to be Team Green.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes me upset, And I think that's a big reason why Xbox has stopped doing all these third-party deals, because okay, you're just going to think negative about it, so we're not going to do it anymore. And who suffers at that? We do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The gamers do, you know. And I say we because we're gamers. We play games, unlike some people who write about games, only talk about
Yeah.
games. You know, they,
Brag about a Tesla.
Yeah.
yeah,
You-
who brag about their Tesla often.
and like you have to also go off of like what Dread had touched on earlier. You also have to go off of the companies that are making these games or the publishers. Are they open to criticism? If you have seen certain ones, kind of shadow block people because they're not getting the criticism that they're looking for, that they're not good company. I'm someone who has received games for reviews, and a lot of them, they'll give it to me on Steam. I do my review, and then after X amount of time has passed, they retract the license so I can no longer have access to the game. That's the way it's supposed to be done. All right. And then you'll have, see, I support Ubisoft. Everybody knows I'm a Ubisoft person. Everyone's going to have their own mixed feelings about Ubisoft. But one of the things I love about Ubisoft is even though I am an official Ubisoft partner, I can sit there and I've had devs come into my streams talking about their games. That's, for example, I had Riders Republic. I had the devs from Riders Republic hang out with me as I was streaming that game. And I was showing them things that were wrong with the game. And we were having a conversation about, okay, I love this aspect. You can make this better. And we had a great exchange. And that's the way it should be. They were open to criticism and they wanted to hear feedback from other people to make the game better. You got to look for companies that do that. Don't side yourself with a company that is going to be like shut down any kind of negativity whatsoever, because then you're going to see the same stagnant kind of stuff in games because they're not looking to see what they can do better. They just want to know what's going to sell and make that money now. And that's not good for gamers in the long run. So, have your mixed feelings about Ubisoft all you want, but at least I know when I'm playing my Ubisoft games and the devs are coming out, they generally give a damn. They care. They want to they want that criticism because they want to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've spoke to old school reviewers asking about 100% completion of games, and they said there was no way we couldn't do it back then. But they gave us the details of the games. They gave us the facts, the information, and then they gave us their opinion on how it felt to them, how it played for them, how much enjoyable it was to them. But they gave you all the other information, where today all they're giving us is how they feel, how they like the game, this and that, and that's it. They didn't give us the information, what the game type is.
Yes.
Like I was saying before, we used to read PC Mag and all these other ones. Even IGN back in the day on the mag had information. That was some of them even had a second reviewer or even a third reviewer to give you another person's perspective. Again, IGN, I'm going to just keep on going with them because they're like the biggest hypocrites in gaming. But the next person available is who that next game goes to. So if you're a racer and that's all you know, or at least that's what you're preferred, right? And now you're giving, I don't know, Dragon's Dogma. That's not going to be your forte to understand what it's about. So now Dragon's Dogma is a bad game. It's this, and that. But you get someone that's playing Dragon's Dogma and you're giving them a basketball game. Again, it's not their thing. RTS, you can't give someone RTS that doesn't know anything about it. So you got to be more relatable. I understand some gamers are well-rounded, which most gamers aren't today, more well-rounded, and that's what you want, something like that. But you also want a pro, someone that's that does deep dives in this stuff. So if someone's a Halo fan or a first-person shooter fan, someone like that is going to be able to tell you how well a Halo game is, or how well a first-person shooter is, like COD or Battlefield, Battlefront. What other ones are there? You know what I mean? Lawbreakers. You know what I'm saying? So you have all this stuff, and you can be like, well, Lawbreakers ain't cutting it because they're trying too much, and it's not it. Where Call of Duty's perfect, Battlefield just isn't there. Now it is, but it wasn't there when we did this stuff. They would know better, and they can give you the differences between Battlefront and Call of Duty. They're two different games that compete against each other all the time. they're vastly different. Their death to kill ratio is totally different. Same thing with Halo. And again, you're talking about space, and you're talking about boots on the ground, and you're talking different games. But if you're into that style of gameplay, you can actually portray it better and give the audience, whether they're reading it or they're watching it on a YouTube channel, something to understand other than it sucks.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
sucks. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, like I said, unfortunately, reviewing has been modified, where a lot of people will put their biases in. You know, you should be able to review a game because it's a game, not because it's on a platform. And that's what we want. We just want more honesty with Xbox. We want more honesty with games overall. So it's not just Xbox, but games overall. And at the same time, Xbox, stop giving people that hate Xbox a console or a game or any of this stuff.
Yeah.
You're just giving them more ammunition. You know, why?
You know, I listen to, again, and I keep bringing them up because, again, they're the biggest hypocrite. They're the biggest perpetrator of this. IGN Unlocked. I was listening to it, and I think it was like an all-girls show or something like that, where all the men were busy doing stuff. And the ladies, some of the ladies had never even played Halo. How do you not play the tentpole franchise and be on an Xbox podcast? Like, you know, or Gears of War. They haven't played Gears of War either. Like, they haven't played the Holy Trinity, Halo, Gears, Forza, if you will, right? Those are the big temples of Xbox. And, you know, they had never played that. And they're like, oh, you know, but, you know, I use my Xbox to play third-party games. None of their first party. And you're on a what? And you're on an Xbox podcast? What do you think that person is going to say? Like,
How about, yeah.
What do you think that
Twitch?
person is going to say? I just, it boggles the mind how obvious the bias is, but when you try to point it out to them, right? Like when you try to point it out to Ryan McCaffrey or Dustin Liguri, who wrote the doom and gloom article about Starfield needs to be perfect or else Xbox is done. And Ryan McCaffrey, who, you know, celebrated the Final Fantasy 16 exclusivity but hated the Tomb Raider exclusivity. You know, they're like, oh, we're not biased. I gave Forza Horizon was our game of the year last year. I gave Halo a 9. You know, it's like,
be a little bit more
we're
consistent.
talking about your headlines, not your review scores. You know, and what you write. Your review score is great when that game comes out, but like in between those big releases, and it's been a long time between a big AAA release and Xbox. It really has been. All you've been doing is writing hate and doom and gloom. And that's why we think you're biased. I don't think it's that hard of a concept to understand, but they don't get it. Like, they are so oblivious to themselves. They refuse to look in the mirror and acknowledge that, hey, you know, I wrote something pretty bad. They refuse to. And that's the arrogance that gets to me.
They're not writing though. Like, that's like you know, a lot of these journalists, they're not journalists. They're just random dudes, you know, that get hired to write opinion pieces. And that's it. They have no journal degrees. They're not doing actual breakdowns of the games to explain how they came to their conclusion. You know, they're not journalists. You know, they just call themselves journalists.
You know, and I always love it how they show you photos of them when they were young and like, oh, here's me with my Xbox 360. Like, dude, everybody loved the Xbox 360. Show me your Xbox One collection. Show me your Xbox Series X setup. You know, don't show me a picture of you 20 years ago with the Xbox 360. Everybody had that. I could randomly pull up photos right now of people who are 100% PlayStation centric that love the 360 back in the day. That says nothing to me. You know, it's just, I don't know. Like, the bias is obvious to me, and if it's not obvious to if it's not obvious to them, okay, I can understand you not wanting to take an introspective into yourself because the truth hurts. You know, there's that saying, the truth hurts. But Xbox, come on, man, stop helping them.
How about
Hate
how
you.
about the ones that are Team Blue that review a game that's on Team Blue and give it a high score, 10 out of 10, best game ever, and have never actually
Mhm.
played it?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at their trophy list, and there's nothing there, and it's like, again, what's the point? You're just trying to get more information, more attention to them, and stop. Same with the headlines, same all of this all the way around. Stop playing stuff. You're just playing games without actually playing video games,
Mhm.
and tell us the information. Give us the proper information. Have some couth with what you're saying. Have a little bit of ethics behind
Yeah.
yourself. And they don't even do that.
I have a feeling like if I went into ChatGPT and ChatGPT scours the internet to learn. If I went into ChatGPT and asked it to write a positive Xbox article, it wouldn't know how. Like it literally would not know how because it can't learn it. Like because there's nothing but negativity out there. That's just my opinion. All right, let's close this up. And for reviews, I like there's a Japanese magazine. I forget if it's Famitsu or Gematsu, and they do the old EGM strategy where 4 people review the same game, and each one of them gives it a rating. And that's how because I remember reading EGM, and a certain game got like 9, 8, 8.5, and then the last reviewer gave it a 4. Like,
But they gave
I like
reasons.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they gave you reasons, and you understood where that
Mm-hmm.
reviewer. You understand where the reviewer's preferences were, so you can understand why they gave it a 4. Because they're an RTS fan and they don't understand hockey. You know what I'm saying? They don't play hockey.
You got to be careful though too with a lot of these journalists that have rating systems, because their rating system doesn't make sense. They're not showing you the breakdown of how things earn points. They're just making up numbers.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like points.
EGM used to have what they called the unicorn, which was an 11 out of 10 game. And they literally said, does not exist, will never happen. So that way they could give 10 out of 10s, but never an 11 out of 10. And I believe in that. The unicorn doesn't exist, will never happen stuff. For some people that's a 10 out of 10, but I grew up reading EGM, so I do believe 10 out of 10 games exist, but that 11 out of 10 probably will never come out.
No, 10 out of 10 games exist. Perfect games do not exist.
Right. Yeah. And so, shout out to RWK88. What's up, y'all? Sorry, we got started on our topic right when you came in. And Scott Frey, I believe I already told you hello. Thank you so much. Guys, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us get discovered. You have no idea how much it helps. That thumbs up helps the algorithm. Let's check it with some of the chat. Split Difference says they don't want to take ownership of it. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to admit that they are biased. The Doggy Dog brought up, I remember Metro UK gave a lower score to Hi-Fi Rush because Xbox haven't released enough good games. That is not a good reason. Yeah. That is not a good reason.
Again, it's all opinion. There's no facts here.
Yeah. Cheo Walker, I agree. If you look at the IGN Unlock crew, most, if not all, Xbox is not the primary gaming platform. Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you said. And, the fact that Xbox had to send one of them an Xbox was, it just goes. Terry, we did a poll in the chat before we get out of here. How did the chat do?
Do you think anti-Xbox bias in the media is real? A whopping 91% said, yeah, it's obvious. 4% haven't noticed and 4% are unsure.
There you go. And RWK88 says, yeah, it was hard to find you all this morning. Twitter helped. Oh, no. Hey, you know what, RWK88? Send me a DM. Tell me what methods you used, and I'll try to improve on it. because I really want to make
Hit
this
that
show
bell.
more discoverable.
Hit that bell.
Yeah. But let's see. The U.S. ratings board needs to be one rating system across the board, 5 total. You mean the ESRB? I don't know what that means. So yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I think, you know, we had a good fun. We talked some games. We talked some indie games. We talked some media bias, something that I am adamant about because it is obvious to me. And the reason I say it's obvious is because in 2014, when I graduated college and I was ready to start finding what game should I play for my Xbox One, I scoured every major journalistic site on the internet and could not find a single positive Xbox article. If it wasn't for YouTube content creators, I maybe would have lost faith in Xbox at that time. So I know it's real because I experienced it. So with that being said, guys, we are going to get out of here. But before we get out of here, guys, I just want to thank you guys, the chat. You guys are amazing. You guys are the reason why we do this show. And without you guys, we wouldn't have this show. That's why you guys, the chat, will always be the MVP to all the shows here on the Iconic Video Games channel. And we're going to get out of here. I'm Axel1324.
Yeah, I'm CoolCatTerri.
I'm DREADPOOL.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy your Memorial Day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.